I'm I'm gonna love to see how you inflate this game because you picked it, and
Oh
only
no.
because you picked
No,
it.
no, we'll get that right out of the way, dude. Greetings and welcome to the podcast. I'm here with Colin and only Colin, forever just Colin, for Video Game Book Club. The rules are simple. One person picks a game and you got to beat that game in a month. Then you get to pick the next game for everyone to play once your month comes around. If you beat it, you have to beat it. I can't stress that enough. This month was the DioField Chronicles, which is vastly different than the last two games we have played, Immortals Phoenix Rising and Breath of the Wild,
And Harry Potter.
and Harry Potter. Um, it is a turn, not turn based. It's fake turn based, which aggravated me. Real time with pause strategy game, um, and it's fucking grindy. It is so fucking grindy. Sound design. I'm going to start off with sound design, all right? My notes on sound design are long live the Empire.
Yeah, who thought that was a good idea?
So this game has a death trigger instead of like a move trigger, which they still say words during the moves anyway. But anytime an enemy dies, and if they're like an Imperial Guard, like each enemy has their own like death rattle. And Imperial Guards will go long live the Empire every time you kill one. And there's like 40 or 50 of these
I was just
dudes.
gonna say, it just happens that the most common enemy is an Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
You will fight about 1 million Imperial Guards throughout the game.
And there's other shit that people say like this enemy is harder than we anticipated. When they're not. They're exactly what you anticipated. She's just bad. Um but like I could have, and there's no way to turn just those battle sounds off.
Nah,
Like,
you
yeah,
the sound that shit's just annoying. The I don't even remember the music.
the music was meh, like not memorable. I put that as a point for the music actually because if it's like really like mustardy music, where it's like like this acidic to your ears type shit, like meh,
Yeah,
meh, meh, it's worse. Um, so
it wasn't to detriment.
yeah.
I'll give it that.
Um, Another thing, the narrator is the most monotoned narrator in all of existence, and I think he did a good job. So shout out to the
Yeah,
narrator.
with the material they gave him.
Yeah, he did what he could, but it doesn't matter if there's riots in the streets or if there's an invasion or if you're holding down a dock or if the world is collapsing. This dude sounds exactly the same through every event. Um,
The
and that
voice acting was okay.
Yeah. Um, Aside from Riaz, the quote unquote main character, I
That is the main character.
did not like Riaz.
Hold
Um,
on, hold on. Well, this is going into a whole different thing. Riaz is the name they should have gave him. Instead, they had to give everyone a fucking dumb name.
oh yeah,
Every character in this game has a dumb. But then you'll meet someone's like, oh, his name's Jacob.
yep,
Oh, so it's Fredfort and fucking Andreas and Wiggleworth and then Jacob, dude. Really?
yeah,
That pissed me off.
and then cause like what's his name, Frederick Quinqualson or some
No,
shit like that.
Frederick Lester.
Yeah, Frederick, and then they say his middle name too, Lester, and then they start referring to him as Fred.
Yeah.
But
So it's
his
like,
name's
why?
not Fred, it's Freterick with a T.
It,
So,
dude, all the name. What's the archer's name? Iscorian.
yeah,
Like,
it's
dude, what the
Scorian, dude, I
fuck?
forgot.
Dude, every character has a crazy name.
And it's like, and they give you like no less than 25 characters you have to
Yeah, you get the
remember.
dude who rides his name's like Zokron. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, what is going on?
Because you have to remember the antagonist names and then like the side tertiary characters that you don't play, and then the 20 people that you can have in your party.
Yeah. See this.
Which I was mathing it out, like unless you replay like certain missions like 100 fucking times, there's no way to level up like your full party, like
Yeah, which
of
is kind of
billions of
goofy.
people. Um, which is a whole other thing. Anything else notable for sound design? Because honestly, it wasn't. All it was For the Empire for me. I have that in big bold
Yeah,
letters.
it was annoying, and then music was fine. The voice acting was fine too. It wasn't
Yeah.
like cringe, so I guess that's good.
Well, some of the writing was.
Well, dude, no. Everything about this game is cringe. The sound design is mid.
I have a note. So a lot of it has like these Yakuza-esque or like sort of like older style game, like Animal Crossing, where they say a sentence but it's not fully voice acted. They just go, huh, you know? And sometimes that doesn't fit what they're saying.
Oh yeah, dude, I noticed that. Like, I understand, and it'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Is the text? I'm
Yeah.
like, "What?"
and I'm like,
Dude.
if you're gonna have like a base statement for like having your character talk, don't make it something that is just gonna be like the antithesis of what is actually happening. Like,
Or
make it
just
a
make
very
it
neutral
grunts,
thing.
dude. Don't
Yeah,
just throw random words on it. It's like, what are you doing? Why? Or just make it silent, dude.
yeah.
Zelda's silent, and or actually Zelda's just sounds, but it works in that game.
Graphics, and I'm putting a side note, UI. You can go first on this one because this is a rant.
Well, I had some weird like shimmering thing going on. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if that's just the game, but I had the shit maxed out with ray tracing on, and it was I don't know. So there's some weird shimmering shit in the cutscene. Uh, Everyone looks sickly. They all look like they're really on just their deathbed. And I don't know, dude. It looks like shit, kinda.
It's like almost cell shaded, but like they didn't fully commit to the cell shading, so
And
it's
like
like weird.
when you first start a level, like it shows the map, and it kind of looks like that 2.5D like Octopath, like really nice like sprite style. But then it's like, no, this is like mobile game almost. It honestly
Yeah,
looks like a mobile game when you're like the gameplay aspect.
Josh was saying that the entire time because like
Yeah,
you're in the fucking you're in the hub world, right, where you walk around. He's like, yeah, this
which is
game
a
looks
rip off
nice.
of Fire Emblem,
Yeah,
straight up. But yeah, it looks nothing like that.
yeah. And then we
Pointless
get
hub world too. Just make it a menu, dude. I don't need to run around. You
yeah.
fast traveled every room. There's no
It
point
took
of
me
moving.
20 hours to realize that I could just click on a room in the map.
Yeah, dude.
I was
I did that from the
pissed.
beginning. I barely moved.
Yeah.
And you can
Um.
access all the shit through menus anyway. There's no point to the hub world at all. Other than being
Yeah.
like, look, it's 3D.
Absolute like nonsense. And to the point where I wish they put more time into the actual like battle portions than
Oh,
to
because it's like 4 maps throughout the whole game, basically. They
yeah.
all look the fucking same.
Like the map, we'll get into map design, dude. But fucking like it looks bad, and something's up, dude. Like I think they front load all of the shit that should be going to the CPU onto the VRAM because like when I had high textures on and everything, like during cutscenes when it preloads the battle, my fucking junction temperature would go up to like 90, 95, but my outside temperature would still only be like 60, right? So my fans
Yeah.
would shoot up to like 3,000 RPM. So I actually ended up playing the game on low to make sure that
Oh,
my
really?
fucking graphics card didn't
Yeah, it's fine.
explode.
Fuck it.
I
It's
know it's
old.
fine, but like every cutscene it was like, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening, dude?
Yeah, I maxed it out and it didn't look good, so it probably looks the same on low, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the only thing, the most noticeable difference is that like the pre-battle like show the map thing looks horrid. Like it looks
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
horrible. But when you get
like
into it, it looks exactly the same.
is it like PUBG, like load in Play-Doh, fucking?
Yeah. Um. Also, the menuing, that this is something that I'm gonna get really upset about. So, like, you have the option to do windowed full screen, right?
Yeah,
But then, like, say you want a different resolution that's not your monitor's resolution. You then click it and then drag it out to full screen, like you would a browser. You use the
yeah.
little fucking the make bigger button. Everybody knows it. It's the square. It's the 2 squares. And then you go back into the game and it puts it back down, like you never clicked the 2 squares. and you have to do that 6 or 7 times before it stays up, and that infuriated me. Um, the menuing UI in battle is fucked, is
Yeah.
totally borked. So the correct way they want you to do it is to press either 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then press space to bring up their move list. Completely pointless. Um, it sounds dumb, but it destroys immersion. Like, because in other games with real time with pause, you click on the character and it shows the menu and allows you to move. I don't see why the menu would lock you out of moving or why you have to choose both of
Yeah.
those.
Because honestly, like, you play most of this game paused
Yeah.
because of that, because you're literally just menuing through characters, and like you're barely ever like actually like real time. It's weird.
So say you're lazy and it's like 4 in the morning and you've been playing for 10 hours because you procrastinated. So you're sitting there in the dark and you're like, I'm just going to click everything. Well, if you start clicking the players that you want to choose, it'll switch it to a random person in the party. So like say I choose Riaz, who is on number 1. If I click Riaz's little face, it'll go to Isocron, who's in slot 4. And then when I press space, I'm hitting on I'm looking at Isocron's moveset. But the problem is that if I unpause, like, because this is the way I play games, I wait until the very last moment to cycle my cooldowns. I have to unpause again to switch the character. So the UI and menuing in the battle system is actually atrocious. And if they wanted to do it that way, they should not have made a real time with pause game. I think it's a complete lack of competence. They are incompetent when it comes to making this type of game.
Yeah, I never realized that it is dumb that you have to like you can't just select all your shit and then unpause.
Yeah, because
You have to fucking one by one while it still like moves the game along, which is really fucking dumb.
there's no discernible reason for it either. There should not be 2 menus, and because it's been done so many times. It's been done since Baldur's Gate. It's been done in like countless CRPGs. You should not lock your movement and your menu out differently, and you should just be able to click on a character. But if you work around it and play the game how it wants you to, if you press 1, 2, 3, or 4 corresponding to the player that you want to play as, and then you press space for some god fucking reason to bring up the menu of their moves, then it'll work 100% every time. But that shouldn't be a thing. You should just be able to click.
Not that you ever really need to do that. At least on normal, what I played at, you literally just select all the units and bum rush everything.
That's
Like
true.
9 out of 10 times. Like the positioning almost never matters. You can just dodge the big red AOE and you'll probably make it out alive every time.
Yeah.
Which gets pretty lame because it's literally just fucking. There's nothing to it.
Gameplay's in a second. I was about to go on to gameplay, but fucking graphics. I mean, again, people look sickly. You can tell
The summons looked cool. I'll give it that.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times am I gonna see Bahamut like fucking shoot his laser beam? You know how pissed off that made me that Bahamut shoots a fucking laser beam and it does less than my arrow? Like
You gotta use the other summons, dude.
Ouroboros was sick. The lightning dog was all right, but all the other ones, fuck him.
The heal one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because it refilled your fucking like mana or whatever they called it, TP or EP, I forget.
Yeah. I stopped playing with a healer. Like,
Yeah, you don't really need it.
well, they give you little balls. That's another thing with fucking UI and pathing. These balls, you need to be on top of them. There's
Yeah, that
no
shit's
like
annoying.
there's no like suck the ball in type thing. Like, so if you just click your party onto a ball, they'll like judder around and might like fucking magnetize away from the ball even. Like, you have to very deliberately pick up these fucking health orbs. But yeah, because when you start out, like, oh god, we're still on graphics. You could tell like which of the characters they cared about more, because they're like dripped out and they got fucking cool shit and their faces look nice. But then like you get to like the 15th side character and they're like in raggedy shit, and their
Well,
face is
I don't
kind
even
of.
know if you got some of the side characters because some of them are optional.
I
Did you
got
get
I got quite a few. Like what
did you
I
get Chapel Man?
Chapel Man, is he the one? Does he look like he's like as tall as Mr. X and he's wearing a fucking turban and he's in a green suit?
Probably. And his name is Chapel Man, and he worked at the chapel.
I probably
No.
didn't get him. No.
Oh yeah. Well, real cool. Like, why are you even giving me these characters? They're never gonna get used. It's the end of the fucking game, and this dude's not cool. There's nothing. He's just a dude that left the church, and you gave him the name Chapel Man.
Yeah.
It's like, really, dude? They
Only
give you. There's
real
too many characters.
Well, and they're all the wrong level. Like all of them. Like if you finish the main quest before the side quest to which that main quest comes into, they'll be the level that you should have beaten that main quest at. So like I had this level 12 guy that I got when I was level 20, and I'm like, I'm never gonna play as this guy.
Yeah, because it takes forever to level.
Needlessly too, because every level's a fucking meat grind. We're skipping right to fucking gameplay, dude. We'll do story afterwards. This gameplay sucks. This gameplay
Yeah.
is bad, dude.
It literally like at first I'm like, okay, and then you get a few hours in and I'm like, this is really like Bahamut Lagoon, where I feel like I'm doing the same thing every time and it's not fun and it's just tedious.
They
There's
never switch it up.
dude, I was so pissed when the mission was quell the riots and then like a mission and a half later, quell the riots again.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, are you this is the same fucking mission?
And then no, there's part 4, dude. There's return to the riots and then the final quelling or some shit like that, dude.
I was like, wow. I was like, so padded. It's the same map. It's the same. There's no more than 10 enemies in the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
You're either fighting zombies, monsters, or for the Empire. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole fucking game.
In the back half of the game, it's just for the empires and dogs, dude. That's
Yeah.
it. Oh, and fat boys, dude. People that make no fucking sense.
Oh yeah. It's for the Empire people, but big.
Yeah, they're huge. And like,
Oh, they might throw a cannon in there too.
which
is
sucked
literally
at
Bahamut
first.
Lagoon, dude. It's
Yeah.
Bahamut Lagoon. It's the fucking cannons, but except they're not as bad because you can blow them up in one hit.
Actually, that should be like the main selling point for this game. If you liked Bahamut Lagoon for some reason, play this game. It's
I
practically
think this game's
Bahamut
actually
Lagoon 2.
worse though.
I'm
That's because of story. That's because of story.
I'm on that side too because this game has a lot less whimsy. Like it doesn't have this dude coming out and talking about fucking the dragons or any of that.
Well, because it's like at least Bahamut Lagoon was like it had better writing. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Shit was like 25 years older than this, and the writing was actually. Oh, my mic fell. But it was better.
So I'm disappointed not in the game but in myself.
For picking another stinker.
I vetted this game, all right? And I looked at the gameplay closely, and I listened to like 6 or 7 reviews. Like I studied it before I picked this, and I'm like, this seems like it's going to be all right. And then I saw Real Time with Pause, and my brain just went, woo, and I really wanted it to be good. And I sat there, and I'm not going to lie, I coped until like hour 10, 15. And then the next 5 or 6 hours was just brutal meat grinder. You get into a level, and then it shows you all the enemies. And you're like, okay, that's fine. There's no branching paths. There's no do this as a side thing. The side things are open up the chest. That's it.
Yeah, open up the chest that has the same item in it every time.
You will always get a jade shard from these chests. Every single time.
Never a piece of armor, never a weapon,
Yep.
never money, just a jade crystal. That's pointless because you're not gonna fucking level up the summons. You'll level them up like twice and be like, it's the same thing. It barely did anything, even though it says 20%.
Yeah, it says 20%. It's not no fucking 20%, dude.
It's
They're
like
blowing
2.
smoke up my ass, dude. So like every level's the same, and then it gets worse because every level's the same, but every level's 3 times as long. Because you're sitting there, and you're like, okay, I killed everybody. What's next? Okay, it's another round. Okay, it's another round. And then they go like, okay, this is the 4th round, but this guy also has 2 health bars. And then the mission's over. And you do that over and over again. Like 20 times, dude. And then you beat the game.
Well, I was pissed because chapter 6 and like 5 and 6 so grindy. Some of the levels I'm like, these are still going on.
Yeah.
Like I could barely finish them, and like you get like 6 minutes or whatever for the prize. It's like some of them took that long, but then you get to chapter 7, dude, and these missions are like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this happening? What is this pacing?
Yeah, chapter 4 and chapter 5 for me, but for by far the worst chapter. And I played on the second to hardest difficulty because I was.
Oh, you didn't play on normal?
No.
Yeah, dude. This game should be played on easy, dude.
Well, because they said it was an easy game, and I'm gonna be honest, dude. They're kind of right, but it becomes a war of attrition. It's easy, but if you're fighting 40 enemies, like what the fuck was that inflection? If you're fighting 40 enemies, dude, like eventually your health bars are just gonna whittle away. And the easy part of it is that you could just revive your homies whenever you want.
But then you don't get the sick fucking 2 SP that you'll have a trillion of by the end of the game because there's only 5 skills.
Yeah, the amount of time I wasted just making sure, like, in the earlier levels that I got all the bonuses, because I was thorough. I was like...
Me too. I did all the side quests and got all that shit too.
Yeah.
Pointless. Don't know why I did it.
I did all the side quests in 5 and 6 because I needed to. Because, like, I ended up starting to die. Which I was happy about, actually. I was happy that, like, shit was getting that hard. But I wasn't happy on how they were doing it. They weren't throwing out enemies that were difficult. They didn't give me, like, a 6 health bar enemy that would just fucking... That like, had an interesting moveset. Nobody has an interesting moveset. Except for, like, the Bone Dragon. Which we'll get to. The Bone Dragon was probably the best enemy.
I killed it in, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. The main selling point of this game's combat, at least the one that you'll use the most, is the flanking maneuver, where you stand behind somebody and
like the ambush or
you get ambush, and that's cool and everything and fine and whatever. But that's rogue shit, okay? And giving your mage rogue buffs is stupid. If you're flanking with, like... there's no point to flank with anybody except for Reyes. Because Reyes has the highest attack speed, the highest crit chance. You give him all the cool shit because they won't take him away from you.
Well, you don't know that, but he can teleport behind people.
Yeah, he can eventually teleport behind people, so your flanking is just automatic later in the game anyway. But, like, that is the extent of the positioning you'll do. And then you'll wait for a red circle or a red cone to happen, and then you'll move things around, and then you'll move your tank. This is how I flanked people, dude. I waited until they had my tank, and then I moved my tank around, like 180, and then everybody was ambushing him.
It's brain dead.
Yeah. Like, it's really flowcharty. Like, at the end, like, every single battle was, okay, sending my off tank in with shield rush. That way, everybody targets them, and they literally take no damage for, like, 30 seconds. And then you just lay waste on everybody with your AoE, like, archer spells, while your fucking guy assassinates him. And that's every single enemy. You do not vary at all.
And if there's not a million enemies, it's piss easy.
Yeah.
Fighting one enemy is not hard. I don't care what level he is. You will not die. You only die because there's like 17 enemies and they're all doing AoEs and you just get like nuked.
Yeah. The hardest enemy is having 3 or more of the Long Live the Empire Imperial Guards.
Yeah.
because they all are super tanky. They are fucking bullet sponges, dude. They have way too much health, and they
Even
all have
even
what?
even when I got like all the legendary weapon, like the highest level weapon development weapons, I had all that shit. They're still tanky. It didn't matter.
Yeah, and they have a gigantic AOE like bind stun nuke. All
Y-
of them. Like, so
Yeah,
if you get 3 of those popping the nuke at the same time, and they have an armor buff when they're in their stance of fucking getting hit.
yeah. Every fuck. I hate that too. Every enemy that does a cast gets a like armor. That's so dumb.
And it's like flat like neutral armor too. Like it's like if an enemy is like, say an enemy takes extra damage from fire spells, it doesn't matter, dude. Like they
Yeah,
are just flat like
they'll take like
impervious.
half damage
Yeah,
always.
from everything, including your giant dragon nukes.
Yeah, it's goofy. I don't get why they did that. Because if I'm casting, I don't get fucking half
No.
damage reduction. Like what the fuck?
But later in the game, your mages never get hit, so it's like whatever. I don't know. It's so aggravating, so incredibly aggravating. This game.
Is there even a way to move like 2 units at once?
Yeah, you pretend it's an RTS.
How do you do that?
You
I played
click.
on controller.
Oh my god.
It was fine.
You know what? I believe it. I believe that it's fine. Because I played on keyboard and it was not great. But yeah, no, you click and drag a square around 2 of them.
See, I never moved to. I either moved them all or one. I was like, there has to be a way, and then eventually I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't really need it.
Progression is horrid. Bad. Bad, dude.
In the sense that like you feel progression.
No, I didn't feel it at all.
Well, yeah, you feel exactly the same as mission one. I didn't feel any because you're fighting the same shit and it's the same. It's the same the whole game.
No, and I'm fairly certain that like they cap your progression to make sure that no matter how strong you are, the enemies are either 1 or 2 levels higher than you. Because unless you're going back and grinding, like you will forever be stuck, and you have to level up your fucking reputation to get new items in the shop. And there's something like a $90,000 top hat that gives you 15 attack.
That shit. So did you buy that or no?
I bought the best boots, so it gave me an extra 1,000 health for my guys. And I bought I had this chick that would do extra damage to technique, so I bought her the technique ring.
'Cause I had since I did it like basically, I think I did every side quest. I had like 500,000 gold or whatever, max everything. But that hat was actually pretty cool because you got 2 like mana every time you autoed, so you just
Yeah.
never ran out. But I don't know. It didn't. Yeah, I didn't feel the other. Like you only feel the passives. I didn't really feel the fucking like actual numbers at all.
Yeah, the passives were solid. They had good ideas for passives. The problem is that it's all to supplement a pretty shitty mana system. Like, it's fairly bad.
I mean, get to the root of it. Actually, the worst skill tree I've ever seen. Maybe, dude. There's no fucking skills.
Yeah,
Each
and,
character has maybe 4 skills.
and they're tied to weapon. You get
Yeah,
like
very
one.
dumb.
You get like one class skill, and the rest are tied to weapons.
Because I had like so much SP, and I'm like, there's literally nothing to level. Even in leveling, the skill sucks too. Every skill is like this. It inflicts a status effect. It does more damage. It has larger radius. That's every passive of every skill.
Yeah, and it really is a huge letdown. Because, like, if you're doing that, why even have the RPG system? Why have, like, this extremely fucking, like, bare bones, straight to the point, no imagination whatsoever level up, dude? The coolest one was
The one you can't get, necromancy.
Oh, yeah, no, let's talk about that. I waited all fucking game to get this necromancy shit, and I never got it. The game's deleted. The game's gone.
It miffed you that bad.
I never got necromancy. And you see the necromancy from my favorite character, Wendaquin, or Weldaquin, whatever the fuck her name is.
Dumb name 3.
Yeah. So, like, Quinn, who, again, my favorite character, using my favorite fucking skill tree, and she uses it against me, and I never use it. I never get the side quest. I looked up how to get it, couldn't get it. And if it is a New Game Plus thing, then they could go fuck themselves.
And from what I read, this game was in like a horrible state before like a couple patches.
Awesome.
It was even easier. It was like worse in every way. So I can't even imagine if this is the fixed version.
So like, yeah, gameplay was not good. I actually like it, and it picked up because they gave me a character I liked. That was really like the crux of what happened is they gave me a tank he had a dragon. And essentially what happens when you get the dragon tank is that you can use the dragon tank's movement speed to run all the way around the map and carry all of the enemies with him like it's Call of Duty fucking Nazi zombies, and then push them back to the main zone. And while they all run towards you, you can use the fucking Archer's AoE effect and murder them all in one felt swoop, making every map way faster. So he was my rined up fucking sheep herder.
What team did you use?
I used
that guy too.
I used Reyes, that guy, the sword and shield chick, the first one you get.
Okay, that dude's
the daughter. Yeah, the daughter, yeah. And then the gun archer chick.
Okay. Yeah, I used, the characters they gave me before they took them away.
Oh, yes.
That's fucking a great game design. Not do it once, but twice.
Well, I was using Wendaquin for a while, and then Wendaquin's like, I fucking hate this place. I'm dipping.
Yeah, I swapped for a different mage when she dipped, and then you get the basically just her version 2.0, that like princess chick.
Yeah, her with short hair.
I just used that one, and then I used Wrinkle Dink Archer.
Renequin or whatever the fuck her name
dude,
was,
no, it's
dude.
Rickenbacker.
Oh, yeah, Rickenbach, dude. Orville Rickenbacker. Which, there is so much shit. Oh my god. I could go on for hours about this fucking game's problems, dude. Why are you talking to Rickenbach half the game? What could she possibly say? She never says anything interesting.
And yet none of those people matter.
No.
And once you get to the stories, the story might be worse than the gameplay.
Let's push into it, dude. Let's go over the story. I have literally a minor clue of the story, dude. It's a war.
Yeah, it's all the Tales of Abyss, like political drama, turned up to 1,000, because that's the whole game, basically, about fucking war.
And, like, I get what they were going for, but they did not make me care about anyone enough to really drive home.
There's no good characters.
No, there's
They're
none.
all written like shit. I looked into the story, dude. It's dumber than you think. There's so many plot holes.
Well, cause I'm sitting there, right, and it's like hour 15, and I'm drained at this point. And every cutscene is a fucking slideshow, dude.
It's a map with arrow. Brad would love it, dude. And the boats are coming from the south. I'm like, dude, this is so... Again? Yeah, they're coming from the south again.
Yeah, and like the narrator, God bless his soul, dude. He's just droning on, just like... And then the Imperial Army comes forth from the ranks, and while you were over here, they were over there, and I'm like, dude.
I love the part where you capture all of it, and then they take back the South.
Yeah.
Like, so what I've spent 4 chapters doing, they did in 1 second.
It's like
Sick,
it's like
dude.
the penultimate plot twist too. It's like you go and you go and fight this little tiny circle, right? It's
Yeah, and
like
the
this
whole time
tiny.
he's like, huh. Probably shouldn't bring the whole army here. Fuck it, I'm the fucking king.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Oh, bad idea. Great writing,
Yeah,
dude.
you slaughter these people, dude. You just like way overcompensate for this tiny little piece of land, and they're like, "Oh yeah, all that shit you took for the first 20 hours, gone, dude."
So dumb. Dude, there's so many plot holes. So the whole thing starts out as like there was this other prince that was like assassinated. But then Fred Lester is like, "No, I'm that guy." But he's not actually that guy. But they never really explain that because he has the mark of the blessed.
Yeah, he's
Well,
got the little rainbow scar.
well, people assume because there's a side quest where people are infusing jade. None of this is ties together at all in the game. This is like fan theories that he somehow infused the jade and like so he's not actually Levadian or whatever that dude's name is. He's still Fred, but then they're like the jade made him go crazy or what. I'm like, dude, but the game doesn't explain any of this at
See,
all.
and I thought it was like that, kind of like Greedfall. Greedfall did a similar thing where it's like the rot, you know. But
Yeah.
like I kind of inferred a little bit of that, of like, oh, the scar and the power. I really thought it was the power, you know, because it's like, okay, he rose to power and then he corrupted. It's like a story as old as fucking time.
Yeah.
Because like when it really starts turning around, you know, it's like, okay, well, this guy might not be dope. You're the worst battalion in all of existence. Like,
Yeah.
like you take in people that are your enemy, and then you're like, "Huh, he's a traitor? No way." It's like, dude, you picked him up while he was being an asshole.
Yeah, he's like he literally said he was pro democracy the whole time. What? He doesn't want the fucking king.
Yeah, and then you're chilling with like the fucking Duke, and then you're like, oh, turns out the Duke's bad, and you fucking go to his house
Oh,
and just murder him in cold blood.
even bigger plot hole, dude. Why this game makes no fucking sense, dude. Okay, so Riaz, the whole time apparently, according to logs in the fucking game, was a double agent. Taken in by the Duke. Because that guy he talks about, the black figure, that's the Duke.
No, no,
Yes!
no, dude. I thought that was like some ethereal shit.
No, Riaz was in on it on the whole time.
I thought,
And
okay.
dude, it makes no fucking sense.
Why
And then,
add that layer? Because it's already a layer deep with the whole like, okay, I joined the army to do this, but this army sucks, so I'm actually just gonna go back and kill the guy
yeah,
that
no,
killed my parents. But they had to go deeper with the Duke shit.
yeah, no, according to the game, he was in on the whole thing the whole time. He was working with the Empire from the start of the game, which makes no fucking sense at all.
No, because I mean, spoiler alert, Reyes just ends up fucking stabbing the dude with the guns and then shooting Fred with the gun. Like,
Yeah,
that's
so
the end of the fucking game.
he shoots Fred because his whole thing was he just wanted like a better king or some
Yeah,
shit.
somebody
But
pure of heart or some
yeah,
shit.
and he's like Fred sucks, so he just shoots him. Makes no fucking dude. It makes no sense. Like it's once I looked into it, I'm like, okay, I see some like ideas here, but it makes no sense, dude. You're telling me Riaz was taken as like a 4-year-old to be friends with this other kid, and then by like 9, he's a master warrior, and no one's like, what's going on with this? Like they're asking for some crazy suspension of disbelief.
And there's no lead up to it either. Like at the start of the game, like, because I really don't remember the start of the game that well, but it's just Riaz and Frederick just chilling. And
Yeah.
that's where it starts. It doesn't start with Riaz as like a kid. It makes you work forward and backward at the same time, which is something I really fucking hate because it makes your brain split into two. It's like, okay, this is back and this is forth, you know. And they do it all at the same time where it's like you're in the moment and then like Riaz will be like talking about his past and then they'll go back to the present and be like, and that's why I did this. Oh, boom, you know?
Dude, and it's just like there's probably 3 minutes of interesting story, and it's all spread out of like 25 hours of a fucking fictional history textbook. Because none of that shit mattered to me. I was like, what are you it's fucking Risk in real. I don't know, dude. The story was so boring. It was one of the most boring games I've ever played.
And it's because they try to do like a big cast of characters, and like none of aside from Wenda Quinn was the only one that got a chuckle out of me, where she was like, there was one slideshow cutscene where it's the first time you quell the riots, and they're like, well, yeah, your healer made a name for herself. She was pretty brutal to those guys, like really bad. And I'm like, really, my healer? And then you get into the cutscene later, and she's like, oh yeah, no, if we want to like sacrifice everyone to like do what we're doing, that's fine with me. And I'm like, oh shit, she's like actually like a masochist healer, which is sick. It's a archetype that's not usually used. And then
yeah,
they leave.
I just hated the plot twist. They don't leave, you kill her.
Yeah, but no, she's gonna be back, dude.
And the lamest. For one, the battle versus her is. You literally kill her in 3 seconds.
Yep.
She's so fucking weak. And you get this corny cutscene where you stab her. She's like, I'll be back. And she falls in lava. I'm like...
No, I really thought she was going to be back, dude. Genuinely, I thought.
Well, I did too, because they showed some sick skills for her in the skill tree. They really couldn't just lock... Why did they even have to show me those? Like, what the fuck is going on with this game?
Which is the biggest letdown. Any game developers should not have skill trees that are locked behind extremely arbitrary shit that is not easy to find, that is completely optional, that might be in the second game plus, dude. It only makes sense for it to be a new game plus because you don't even know that she could do that until you go to the fucking like when you start burning the churches, dude, because people don't like archbishops, you know? It's like, okay. Oh,
because they're doing things with the kids.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. I'm like, they're doing what with the children? Oh, okay. It's this kind of game.
Yeah, Josh was watching it. He's like, oh, subtle. I get what they're doing there.
Yeah. Written well.
But yeah, both story and gameplay were really fucking bad, dude. Like, a letdown. Just an absolute letdown.
I don't know how you do it, dude, but you just pick some games.
We're figuring it out, dude.
You got lucky on Immortals, because like I said, if fucking... We played Breath of the Wild first. That game would have got fucking roasted.
Immortals fucking burned in the fire. That way Breath of the Wild could emerge, dude. That's what happened.
That game lucked out, because that game's really a one now that I understand. And you know that's true.
Yo, the whole time, dude, I was just gaslighting the shit out of everyone, dude. I'm like, this is just like Breath of the Wild, bro. This is one for one. Look, a stamina-based climbing system, dude.
And that's where it ends. Because it's nothing. It's so fucking bad, dude. I think I gave it like a 6 or a 7. Fuck no. Oh my. I was delusional.
Yeah. This is the worst real-time with pause game I've ever played.
It's not even like, dude, it's barely real. It honestly feels just like pause that can be played in real time.
Yeah.
You're just pausing all the time.
It is undeniably, like, without a doubt. Cause
I would have rather it been turn-based. The pausing doesn't do shit for me. It didn't add anything.
It aggravated me because I am a vehement supporter of real-time with pause. And I insist that any game that can be turn-based should be real-time with pause, and I fucking despise when people are like, oh yeah, no, just make it turn-based. Because there's really good real-time with pause systems, such as Tyranny's system and Pillars' system and Tower of Time system. This system, the way they have it set up, where the movement and the skills are separate and the skills are in a menu and you have to click which person, and that doesn't always work. This is the only game where I would say yes, just make it turn-based.
Well,
You
what they
try
should
to
have
do
did is
something and
made
you
it.
failed.
They should have made it like Valkyrie Chronicles, you know, where you
Yeah.
have like some like AP to move, and then you do your fucking thing, and it's just like, and instead it's just some wacky wonk shit with no strategy. It's just it's too easy to cheese. It's got too many. It's just bad, and it feels like the only reason it's real time is so you could dodge AOE's, which is fucking so stupid.
It's just like I don't know. It's a huge letdown. Again, Immortals also fucking lucked out because it would be the biggest letdown of the year if we played it after Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But as of right now, this is the biggest letdown of the of
For
probably
you,
Book Club.
really?
Aside from Recore, Recore
I was
was a
gonna
bigger
say you're pretty
letdown than
hyped
this.
on Recore.
But this is a close second. It's pretty bad, dude.
Thankfully, I heard this game wasn't that good, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
So
and
I went in with like the correct expectations. And you said it was fucking not good before I even played it.
well,
After you played it, so I was like, okay.
cause it's like a not good sandwich. It's like mediocre into not good, like at all, into mediocre again, which is still a letdown. Cause I just want it to be flat mediocre the whole time. I think
If it was like 10 hours long, it probably could have done that.
yeah, and
It's just 10 hours too long.
the crux of it, honestly, is that you can't just these side quests are not optional.
That's why I had a feeling. That's why I was doing. I'm like, I'm gonna end up having to go back and do these. I feel it. I'm gonna get Blue Dragon, so I'm just gonna do them because they don't take long.
Yeah. So it's a combination of three things. One, the story's boring as shit. Snooze fest. Sucked. Two, the side quests are not optional, and whether you need the money or you need the experience, every single fucking like hub world side quest is talk to this person, get $5,000. Talk to this person, get $10,000. Like,
Which was cool. It's like, thank you for giving me something for talking to them, but at the same time, it's like, I would rather they just have interesting things to say, and
yeah,
you don't give me money.
because you end up being a billion cajillionaire at the end anyway. And the scaling for the money is horrible. But the third thing is that if you're making a map and you have enemies on it, don't keep just throwing enemies to make the map longer. Don't do that. Like some maps are all right. Nothing is like, okay, this map's sick. Nothing goes to like the scale of like, okay, well, I didn't expect that to happen. That's pretty cool. That never once happened. Every
Yeah, I
map
was
is
never
either,
surprised ever.
it's either defend this barricade, open this door, or move around the map until everyone's dead. So the expectation when I get into certain maps is like, okay, I will kill every enemy and then I will be done with the map. And then they'd throw a second wave. And then you're like, okay, well, I killed those enemies. I am now done with the map. And then they throw a third wave. And then a fourth wave. And then a final fifth wave with, like, a special boss that takes just as long to kill as the other guys. So, it's just... It's tedious. It's tedious and lazy. And I get so upset. And this game has 17 currencies for no fucking reason.
And that just led to it feeling like a mobile game. I'm like, dude, because the same thing with Immortals, dude. Why just give me, like, Zelda, rupees? And, like, there is some other currencies in Zelda, but it doesn't feel like they're currencies, you know?
Well, Zelda did it perfectly because Zelda took the time to make every single thing that you pick up in the game have a meaning, whether it's for cooking or for making an elixir or making a weapon or doing a quest. Everything had its purpose. Nothing has purpose in this game. You throw money to the wind like you're a Bezos. You use your SP, you either hoard them because you don't need to level up, or you dump them all into one thing that you use the most. Like, I used Assassination and Shadow the most. I just dumped all my things into that, and I ended up having like 30 or 40 SP left because I was saving them for the fucking Necromancy.
I was too. I'm like, I'm eventually going to just want to level this necromancy stuff to full because I'm going to use this. And then I realized it was never coming.
Which, how fucking dare they? Because I'm
They should just hide it. Like, why couldn't it just be hidden until like you do that? Like, there's no reason to even show it to you. It's kind of like goofy because
well,
it spoils the whole thing that she can even do it from the beginning of the game.
yeah. Because they
It's
show
so
you that it's a
stupid.
fucking. They keep alluding to it too. They're like, okay, well, this is a healer. I mean, it's on the healers, you know. Healers got necromancy shit, and then it's like, okay, we're
And
going
it
to the
shows
church.
cutscenes with her doing the
Yeah,
fucking moves.
we're going to the church, and they figured out how to raise dead bodies, and you're like, oh shit, necromancy time. And then she's a boss that uses the necromancy, and you don't get the necromancy. And it's just so fucking aggravated because necromancy is my favorite thing to do in real time with pause games. It makes everything sick. You get extra party members. You get tanks that you don't care if they die. It is pivotal to the experience, and they fucked it all up. They hover it in front of your face. It's like a fucking donut on a treadmill that you can never catch, and it infuriated me. I play a necromancer in every single one of these fucking games. And I didn't get to this game. So yeah, that's the game's a 3.
A 3.
It's a 3.
That's low. I think that's lower than Bahamut, right? Bahamut Lagoon.
Well, I think Bahamut was like, what was it? I don't know. I think we're still doing 5s there, so it's a 3. So it's a 6.
Which seems right. That game was like, in hindsight, it's like it was just tedious, but it had charm at least. This game doesn't have any charm for me.
This game is a 3. I can't even give it a 5 because my expectations were 5. I wanted to get done with this and be like, all right, it was mediocre. It was I would have been through the roof if this game was a 6, you know. But I just needed to stop playing, you know, games like Breath of the Wild, something a little bit slower, something a little bit fucking, and it still ended up being so fucking tedious.
Well, yeah, because it was like a nice switch of pace. Because all we've been playing is open world for literally since the beginning of the year. Because Harry Potter, Immortals, and then Breath of the Wild. But
and I really wanted this to be like a good introduction to get you to play more games and eventually work you into a CRPG. But this is just like a bad taste.
Well, yeah, you might as well just give me a real CRPG.
Yeah.
You know. This shit's just like.
Unfortunately for you, I beat all the good ones. So
yeah,
it's kind of murky waters now. But yeah, a 3. I can't give it any more than a 3 because I can't rate it lower because then it would be better than Bug Fables and I mean worse than Bug Fables, and that game will never get less.
This game's better than Bug Fable. Oh no, it's worse. It's worse. Bug Fables is better than this.
Bug Fables has equally bad writing with worse gameplay.
But it's less tedious, in my opinion.
In Europe, yeah.
There's more variance, and it's better graphically. At least
it is better graphically.
It was interesting to look at.
Yeah, I will let that win hand over fist. It is better graphically.
I don't know. Because I looked up the plot, and I'm like, oh, this game's kind of cool. And then I don't know.
Well, one guy, I forget who it is, but this YouTuber was like, and if you like alternative motives, this is the game for you. Everybody has alternative motives. And I'm like, oh, okay, so like maybe there will be like some cool story beats. There's not a single cool story beat.
Dude, it's like 15 bums outside of a Tim Hortons, like they all have ulterior motives, and you don't give a fuck because you're going home. It's like you don't care about any of these people.
There's one mission. All right, this is where I realized this game was a 3. There was this one mission called Stop the Fishermen. And I'm like, no shit, dude. Are we going to fight a bunch of fishermen? No, you don't. They're a bunch of Imperial guards that say, long live the Empire.
And then it was a guy that looked slightly different, and he had 2 bars of health.
Yeah.
But he was not a fisherman, sadly.
And it was
just a knight.
It was the worst level because it wasn't fishermen. There's no citizens in this game. This entire game is about the betterment of society and making sure that you have a ruler that's in place that's good for the people. You never once see a citizen. You only see beasts and people from other armies. That's it. You not a single. It's like my problem with fucking what do you call it? The Victorian age.
Oh, Steel Rising?
Steel Rising. It's like Steel Rising. But at least in Steel Rising, you saw like citizens' bodies burned up and like bloody on the ground. There is no trace of humanity in this game whatsoever. Oh God, it pissed me off so much. But yeah, no, when it said you're fighting fishermen and then you end up fighting waves and waves of Imperial guards, I lost it.
It was the quell of the riots for me. Once I realized I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I was like, this is a joke.
Yeah,
That should be a side quest.
And what do you mean riders? They're not even fucking riders. They're Imperial guards again.
Well, I think they said they were barbarian. I don't know. They're people fighting for democracy, but they are literally just Imperial guards. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like, if I'm quelling the riots, I'm expecting, like, citizens with, like, pitchforks and farmer gear, not fully plate-armored, heavy guards with...
And then here comes the citizen with a wyvern.
Yeah, and there's wyverns when you're cleansing the... Dude, don't even get me fucking started on these goddamn wyverns, dude.
It was just like, let's give this a title, and we'll put it in the town map, and all right, Imperial Guards it is.
And they did
there
that
you go.
thing.
There's your level design.
They did that thing where you barely notice it in this game because every enemy's the same, but like they'll buff up an enemy and make him a boss, and then like that boss will just be, I mean, it'll just be a regular enemy. Like the wyverns ended up being regular enemies, but it doesn't fucking matter.
I'll give it, I don't know, like a 4, 5 at the most, but I can't even really rate it because I feel bad giving it like a low. I don't know. It's somebody's favorite game somehow. If you, I can't believe someone thinks this game's good.
Well, we'll learn from Reddit, dude. Some Redditor will be like, "This game's actually deep, and this is why." And
this is why you didn't get it.
Yeah, this is what your party was wrong. Oh yeah, all right. Here's one thing that I can say was good about the game. You can have different party members that have the weapon that allow you to.
And then use it, yeah.
And then use it by putting them in the second slot, which I thought
And you can
was
switch, too. You can switch, which is cool. I thought that was a cool mechanic. You'll never use it, basically, but it was a cool idea.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the game never crashed. That, I'll give it.
Oh, well, funny story about that, dude. My entire system froze playing this game, but then I realized it was just Windows being stupid.
Okay. Yeah, mine never crashed, unlike Immortals, which crashed 20-something fucking times. But it's very less stressful playing a game when I don't have to fucking clench my butthole that it's going to crash.
The fact that you got past Immortals' final boss without it crashing and just using the fucking...
the bow.
The bow...
First try, yeah. Dude, the whole time, like, if this crashes, dude, I'm gonna be so fucking upset.
I spent whole days trying to fight that boss naturally. And I am shocked that you beat it first time with the bow. That is astounding.
Because that's what, I mean, Harry Potter, that happened with that boss, where it was just like, almost beat it the first try, got bamboozled that it wasn't actually dead, and then I was stuck on it for 3 hours.
Which I hate more than anything, dude. You get a full cutscene of you beating the boss, and then it rises from the ground.
Dude, it didn't even fucking kill me, dude. It was dumb.
You're like sitting there like, yeah, no, nice.
Dude, I literally did like basically pop off to death. And then stuck for 3 hours in the game that I was fucking done with.
And all you have to do at the end is like match. It's like Simon Says, dude.
Yes, dude. And then it becomes the most difficult game for no reason. And then all you can think about is how you fucking should not be playing this anymore, and you should be able to do something else with your time.
Which happens at the end of every game of the month, dude.
Yes, dude. Every game. Except this game. This game, I nuked the boss and was done.
Yeah. Well, the boss is a bitch, dude. I was worried that this was going to be like a super ultra mega boss, dude. No, it's not. The skeleton fucking thing should have been the final boss.
It was easier than fucking half the game. The last level. I was like, this isn't... I thought they were going to throw me like 17 waves of enemies and shit. I'm like, this is going to suck.
I was genuinely worried for the chapter 7, dude, because I'm like, okay, they just spent an entire game leading up to more and more waves of enemies. I'm thinking, okay, it's chapter 7 waves of enemies every mission, and it wasn't like that, thankfully.
It'll be like clear the mission in 15 minutes to get the reward.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes they put you in a different hub world, and I'm so fucking out of it that I don't even know why we were in the different hub world a couple of times.
Oh, it's because sometimes the missions you're on an adventure and it takes more than one day.
Yeah.
So you're in a camp.
Fun fact about adventures, some of your party members are just off gallivant and doing other shit, so you can't have the party that you want.
Yeah, I hate that. Or it's just like they're going here, so now you can't use them.
Yeah,
Even though I just spent all this money on them. Thanks, dude.
Isocron and Frederick are sucking each other's dicks for Pride Month, so they're not here, dude. It's gone. Absolutely ridiculous.
Dumb. It's just like, I get it's like realism, but it's like just make it a game. I don't need when it's dumb real stuff like that. I don't care. They all just need to be in a menu that I can pick. I don't care if it doesn't make sense that I can pick them then.
Solid 3.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of respect for Square Enix.
The generosity, the respect of Square Enix, yeah, dude. This is what they're doing with all their Final Fantasy money.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you throw shit at the wall and it's still shit, but they tried. Brad would like this game, and I think that's what.
Yeah, if only there was another person that would be part of this club.
Brad would pick this game and not finish it. That's just factual.
This
is a game Brad would not finish.
He almost didn't beat Bahamut. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, it only took him an extra week and a half of us fucking, like, basically nagging him to do it, and then he did it.
That's a pivotal part of what we do here, in my opinion. If you do not beat the game, we will find out, and we will fucking flame you.
Fucking Sherlock Holmes.
Dude. You found the save file? How? I mean, what?
The YouTube video, dude.
That wasn't even
the first one.
And he's like, dude, that's not mine. I'm like, well, yeah, no, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt too, but as you can see, the money is exactly the same.
And the time.
And the time is exactly the same. And the party members are the same. And the stats are the same. And if you look at your character right now, you can see he's built exactly the same. So the odds of all of that happening are 0.
Fucking crazy.
What's the next game, dude?
Dude, you're not ready. I'm going blind. You'll probably end up needing a guide. I know I'll probably need a guide. It's going to be an adventure. But it's going to be good. Baroque.
How do you spell that?
BROQUE and then PS1 because it's a real word, but you have to put PS1 to get the video game.
Like the fucking like what was his name? Amadeus or Mozart or some shit? Like fucking...
Yeah, probably. There's a remake. We're not playing the remake. We're playing the original. Well, we're playing the remake of the original because the original is not translated, which is shitty because this one's not as good, but it'll do. It is a first person...
This looks like shit, bro. This looks bad.
Nah. To summarize the game, you are given a gun to kill God. That's all you need to know.
Yo, this dude's fighting cards. Okay, yeah. I can't keep looking at this. Oh my god.
It's gonna be, I told you it was gonna be weird. This is something we'd probably never play, but I've heard it's a sick game. Is it a sick game? I don't know.
We're gonna have to establish how this is gonna work.
There is credits.
All right.
You have to get the true ending to get credits, but there is credits.
Fucking god, dude.
So you're gonna have to get the true ending.
My month's fucked.
Here is a. I'll send you this. And I'll send you the file probably tomorrow.
Yeah, send me the files, dude.
But here is like their website for this game. It's like
no.
But Yeah, if you go to the bottom, you can go to analysis, where this guy has written about 400 pages of analysis of this game.
Colin, this
What?
website. What the fuck are we doing, dude?
It's Baroque.
All right, analysis. The neurochemist, dude.
An explanation of the physiology concepts surrounding Baroque.
This is like some ARG shit, dude.
It's gonna be an interesting game. It came out in 1998 for the Sega Saturn.
As long as you got the files,
I got them, dude.
we'll be fine.
I don't know how long the game is either. I can almost find no information on it. Every time I look up how long it is, I just get the remake, and we're not playing that, so.
What is this? It's by Atlas, okay.
It's a first-person dungeon crawler.
I like both those things.
See, the remake's 3D, and that ruins it.
Closing statements.
Probably don't play DioField Chronicles, which, who the fuck names a game? I don't know. The names suck, dude. The name of the land is DioField.
This game is uninspired. It is the least inspired game.
Yeah, actually, because it definitely doesn't. I was gonna say Recore, but at least Recore I felt was unique. It was trying to do something.
Recore's robots had more personality.
Yeah.
There's a dog in Recore that has more personality than any main character.
I don't know. What about Duke Henderson's fucking beard?
I was actually looking at that, and I was like, that seems like it would be sick to have. Because it's
what I call a hollow beard.
Yeah, it's a beard, but it's just the line, like, from the mustache up, and just like a pencil line from the bottom. It's hollow.
Yeah, he cut out all the middle of his beard.
And I'm like, that looks like way too much work, but if I ever start growing hair on the side of my face that's required for it, I'm gonna try it out.
No, I am convinced that is a beard that only would work on a video game character, and I do not think a human could wear that. There's no fucking way. That shit looked so insane. And they made it seem like it was normal.
Also, where's he find the time, dude?
What do you mean?
They're always doing shit. How do you keep up with that beard? There's no way. That would fill in every day.
Jade crystals, dude.
Oh, yeah, he just rubs a jade crystal on the side of his face. We're stopping this recording, dude.